Thank you guys so much for hopping on tonight, even though it's a little bit earlier. I appreciate you guys being flexible. And I think you guys are all so excited for our topic tonight. And I was actually seeking out someone to speak to our team specifically about this topic because I know that 95% of the coaches on our team work full-time, and I'd say half of them love their job and they don't want to leave their job and they don't want to coach full-time, and the other half of you hate your jobs and you're doing this to exit that job, or maybe eventually you'll realize maybe that coaching can provide just as much as what your current job does provide. So I found Anna, and she is an amazing coach. Let me see her stats. She's been coaching since 2009, you guys. So she's been around for a little while with this coaching business, and she actually matched her six-figure income with Beachbody, and so she quit her full-time job and then missed her job so much that she wanted to go back, and now she's working full-time and coaching. So she's doing the best of both worlds. She's also a 5-star diamond, and she was an elite coach in 2013. So the only thing I'll say before I hand it over to you, Anna, as a reminder for you guys, we have a new coach broadcast starting this Saturday, October 15th. I believe it's Saturday, at 8 p.m. It's just a 1-hour event where Raina O'Dell and I are going to switch topics back and forth about basically what you need to do to get your coaches started right. So if you're a new coach, everything will be live in the Lux Republic. If you have new coaches in your downline, invite them to it. And all they have to do is log into the Lux Republic and they'll see our live videos pop up. We have 6 different topics, 10 minutes each, and we'll just be going back and forth. All right. All right, Anna. So take it away. Feel free to share your story and get into your tips.
Okay, great. Thanks so much for having me. Thank you guys for hopping on a little bit early. I hope you guys forgive me. I am outside Starbucks, and of course there's a street right behind me, so I hope it doesn't get too loud, but I'm kind of by a hospital, so there may be sirens. I totally apologize, but you will see how this works, how my life works. So thank you again for having me on. I appreciate it. Like Samantha said, I have been a coach since August of 2009, so I'm an old timer. And quite honestly, this is the longest job I've ever had, which is crazy. I'm a registered nurse by trade, and at the time Beachbody came into my life, I was a P90X success story, because really that was all that came out, was P90X and insanity at that time. P90X success story. I became a coach. It was the same year Shakeology came out too. So when I did P90X, I wasn't drinking Shakeology because it had just came out, and it was like, what is this expensive thing? And does it even work? So I didn't actually start drinking it until I became a coach. But I basically became a coach because of accountability reasons. And I was what we consider now a discount coach. So I didn't want to lose my results. I wanted to stay accountable. People kept asking me what I was doing. I was one of those coaches where, okay, I'll just continue this journey, and if anybody asks, what I'm doing, I'll just tell them P90X. That's all I know. And so I shared my workouts on social media. I'm also one of those coaches that, if you look back at my very first year of coaching, the posts that I did on social media were just awful. It was like, look at me, I'm doing P90X, back in biceps. I mean, it was obnoxious. But that was really before anybody knew what this coaching thing was all about. Now we have the opposite problem. But so I became a discount coach, and then I started to get connected with this community of coaches. I actually connected with my upline coach, Mike Ryan. I don't know if you guys know who he is, but it turns out he lives about an hour and a half. He used to live about an hour and a half away from me, so I was able to meet him. He is now like a brother to me. But I watched him grow his business, and I saw how much freedom he was having. And at the time, I was working in the IT department at the hospital. I was the only RN in the IT department. I was working as a clinical analyst. But my background before that was in the operating room. And I chased a management job, and I just kept going up the nursing ladder. And I hated management, so I moved over into this, basically it was a project management for nursing position while I was building this business. I didn't know that I enjoyed. So I started to stay connected. I started to show up to events, and all I wanted to do was be a part of this community. And then I started watching other coaches live this life of freedom and be home during the day and work out during the day and have their feet up if they needed to, or work in their pajamas. And I started to watch that, and I was like, oh my gosh, what am I doing here? I don't like this. All of these people, TK, keep in mind, they came from the operating room. The operating room is a very social environment. As crazy as that sounds, it's a very social environment. And I was working in this dungeon with, no offense, but with a bunch of boys that were IT boys. And I was like, this is really boring. I want to be with these people that I'm spending all day with on my phone, right? Okay, so if you work IT, you understand, yes. So this was my office while I was working in IT, and I would go from one building to the next, and I would send messages off on this phone. And really, the community is what kept me showing up. And then I started to see a little bit of success here and a little bit of success there, and people believing in me. And I was like, wow, wow, people are listening to me. I actually have something to offer. I kind of like this. And then I think it was the very first Success Club trip there was a trip to, it was a cruise. And the way that you qualified was all you had to have, and this was Success Club points came out, no challenge packs. Keep in mind, there were no challenge packs at this time. Success Club points came out, and you had to basically sell 5 Shakeologies a month and sign up one coach in order to get Success Club 5. It's just so easy to do. So in order to qualify for this cruise, you needed 50 Success Club points for the whole entire year. And then you could pay that like $1,000. And that would qualify you to be on this Success Club trip. So here's the deal. I totally qualified. I got 51 points. But I couldn't take time off of work. And I was pissed off. I was so mad that I watched these new friends of mine having a blast on the ship and doing karaoke. And I was like, why am I not there? And I'm sitting in the office, and I just was so angry. So for me, that fired me up more. Okay, I want more for this business. I want to do more. I want to go on the trip next year because I will have the freedom to do that. So that was my goal. That was what really set my fire. And I did. And so the next year was Atlantis. And okay, so you guys keep in mind, my husband to this day, Beachbody, it's not his jam, okay? So for all of those of you who struggle with your spouses being supportive in this business, I totally get it. I totally get it. I've been married for 18 years. I'm a mom. I have 2 kids. I'm busy. But my husband, sorry about the siren. My husband has always supported me as a person. Sorry. One more probably. My husband's always supported. There it is. Sorry, you guys. He's always supported me as a person. He's never really been excited about it, but he's supported me. But here's the deal. When they announced Atlantis, when my husband and I first met, that was when Atlantis was first built. And I remember laying in the bed and going, oh, someday, honey, we're going to go there. So when Atlantis was announced, I was like, oh, hell no. Guess what, guy? Guess what? Well, guess where we're going? Oh, and guess what? We can take the kids. Like, you have a buffer. So guess what? I qualified to go to Atlantis. I actually, at that time, they ran a contest that was around this time, leadership, till the end of the year, that if you were in the top, I think it was the top 100 Success Club points, you got an upgrade in your hotel. I was like, yes, I'm doing it. And I did it. So we got to Atlantis, and it was the most amazing trip, and they spoiled us, and my kids got to experience it. My husband got to experience people in this business. So being around those people, he was more accepting of the business. He didn't like the fact that I was always on my phone. So I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, it was not roses. There were lots of conversations about me always being on my phone. So I did learn to balance my work. And I'm going to share that with you. But that's just a little bit of my journey and like what just kind of fueled my fire. I mean, I've never been a top coach. I hit elite 1 year, right? It's been a struggle since then. I'm a normal coach, but I have an amazing business. I have the freedom to go back to work. So I retired from that job. I have a video out there on YouTube, and I was in tears, and I was like that. I just turned in my notice. And it was exactly what I expected. I made it. I made it past that finish line. And I was home with my kids. And my goal was to be home with my kids before they were in middle school. And so I beat that by 1 year. So I was home. And I was building this business. And I had all the time in the world that I was looking forward to. And I will tell you that my husband and I and the kids, we traveled so much. We spent a lot of money, me being off. A lot of money. Because I had the freedom to, right? And then it was like, all the kids are at school. I'm driving myself crazy. And I'm just being perfectly honest with you. I'm driving myself crazy because I'm doing this business. I'm obsessed with this business, right? I love it so much that I could literally work all day. But it was working against me. And I had meetings with people at corporate, and they were like, Anna, you need a hobby. I was like, I have a hobby. I play hockey. So I play hockey once a week. So add that to the mix. I have a hobby. But what do I do during the day? My kids are like, all I can think about is this business. So I thought, you know what? I know. I'll find a hobby that pays. Okay, so when the kids are at school, if I were to make a choice to go back and do something that I would love to do, where it wouldn't feel like work, and I have a choice, I would go back and work in the operating room as a staff nurse. No management, no responsibility. I'd show up early, come home at homework time, where I was forced, like I did in the beginning, where I was forced to be very efficient with my business. So I made the decision. My husband and I were at our Valentine's Day dinner this year, and I made the decision. You know what? I'm going to go back and work in the operating room during the day because I have the choice to. And guess what? Well, my husband's in real estate, so we both were paying insurance, 2 of us, on our own. And traveling a lot. So you can see where the money went. Travel and insurance. It's like, you know what? This will keep me in check. And we'll have benefits. And I'll be home at homework time so I can take my kid to soccer practice, which that's exactly what I just did. And I can sit here at Starbucks and work. And then pick my kid up, and so I had to be efficient. And I made that decision. It was the best decision. It was even more of an amazing decision that I made than I thought I would, because what I ended up doing is I ended up coming back into this world of people again, and I realized that the people in the operating room are exactly like the people at Beachbody. It's the same community, only in person. So I get it during the day, and I get it at night. And here's the other thing: is I went back knowing that I didn't care who knew what I did on the outside. Like, yeah, I own a business. Yep, I built it so that I could walk away. I told that to my boss in my interview. No problem. And they are like, why would you go back to work? Because I have a choice. So as soon as I became, I was back in this community. I had never worked at this hospital before, but they're my people. They're really social, and they're on Facebook. And guess what now? They're like my biggest fans. I walk into work. And the topic of conversation is, what was I doing on social media? Including the surgeons who are like old and kind of creepy. Oh, I saw your live video the other day. Why haven't you friended? Okay, I don't want to friend request you. So here's the deal. People thought I was crazy to go back to work. I thought I was crazy to go back to work. But I realized that I'm more me now because I'm not ashamed of what I do. I walk in every day with my Beachbody gear. I walk in, I talk about it. I have no problem talking about it. So that's my story. I'm going to give you a little bit of like how I work during the day and how I worked before. And then I have some time for questions, because that's usually what happens. And I do better with questions anyways. So like I said, this is my office, and breaks are my time crunches. Those are the times when I know I have to connect with people. I need to, I can't sit and do nothing. Let's just say I get in the car. My commute is only 12 miles, and that was by choice. Remember, I can make choices. I didn't have to work far away. I get in the car, I listen to personal development. I come home, I listen to personal development on my way home. Like, that's a given. I don't have to worry about fitting that in. Okay? I will not turn on the radio and listen to music, because this business is more important to me than listening to, honestly, dead air. So that's where I fit in my personal development. I sit down on a break, and I mean, when I was in the IT department, I had a lot more freedom, let me tell you. Nowadays, I don't have my phone. Thankfully, I have an Apple Watch, and I can see if like something really important comes across. Like, okay, I got to address that one at lunch, right? So I'll get text messages. Okay, I got to, So there's ways to do it. So on a break, 10 minutes, guess what? I'm in the lounge, and I'm watching like Jerry Springer crap on it, and I'm on my phone. I'm like, God, did you ever look up? I'm like, no, I'm working on my business. No problems in it, because I'm on a break. I'm entitled to my break. At lunch, I go sit outside. Same thing. Put my headphones in, or I'm sending off messages. On my way home, like I said, personal development. I get home. Hey, kids. How was your day? Homework? All right, who's ready to go to soccer practice? Let's go. Soccer practice. I could sit there, and I used to sit there, until my daughter said, you don't need to sit there. I don't want you to watch it. Okay, then I'm going to be down the street at Starbucks. Guess what? I have an hour and a half typically. Today we had to do this a little early because I have to go pick up my husband at the airport. But I have an hour and a half twice a week where I can sit at Starbucks and I can really focus on the project work, right? On my challenge groups, on building my ads, those call to action posts. That's the time that I spend here in these little pockets of time. And sure, it's exhausting and tiring, and people think you're crazy. But I wouldn't have it any other way, because I've been able to create the freedom that I've had, So my days are long, but my life is full. It's really what it comes down to. So for me, it's a choice. It's a choice that most people think that we're crazy doing. People think you're crazy that you're working every moment of the day, that you kids, don't you just like want to put your feet up and watch TV? Sure, you do. And you know what? I do. I have an hour. I do this at least once a week, because it's the only time I can shut my brain off. I go and get a foot massage for an hour. The best $30 I spend all week. And it's like, I'll go on my way home, honey, I'm going to go stop and get a foot massage on my way home, right? So I go, spend an hour, shut the world off for an hour. And then I back up refreshed. So I do those things, and I do spend the time, because I work during the day. I'm efficient. Breaks, lunches, on my way home, on my way to work, Starbucks, so that when I get home later, guess what? And there is a workout fit in there at some point. It depends on the day. Usually, like today, I have a hockey game late at night. So it'll be tonight. But yesterday, it was as soon as I got home from work. I drink my Energize. I check and make sure the kids are okay with homework. Sometimes they'll come into the gym, into my little home gym, and they'll finish their homework there while I'm working out. Like, I got to double up. It's really what it is. I double up. I find time is wasted. And I catch up on my sleep on the weekends. It's not like I don't sleep. I know how important it is. There's no way that I could be a coach for this long and not sleep, right? So there is balance. But I will tell you, it's a choice. It really is just a choice on how you spend your time. And it doesn't mean like if you don't have to sit down and do your power hour for an hour. It can be 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, as long as it's super efficient. Like, just look at your time and look at where you're spending it. Look at what you're doing. Are you scrolling? I was scrolling a lot when I was home. I'll tell you that. I scrolled a lot just because, like, I gotta find something. What else can I do? What else can I do? Right now, it's like I know exactly what I'm doing. You know what the other thing is that I have tunnel vision now because I have to be. I don't have any time to look at what other people are doing. Like, I'm not in the wall like I used to be in the wall because I worry about my own stuff, right? I'll check in maybe once a week to see if the disaster is, some disaster's happening. But I stopped following coaches. This is my journey. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm going to keep sharing what I'm sharing. And I can't worry about everybody else, right? We all know there's 4 vital behaviors for a reason. It makes it simple. There's nothing else to do but the 4 vital behaviors. So that's it. That's my story. You can see I'm super passionate about this. So do you guys have any questions?
I love that. I love 2 things. I love that you ended with the 4 vital behaviors because I do think that mostly veteran coaches and sometimes new coaches, but we overcomplicate it and think, oh my gosh, we have to do all of these things, but really we don't, right?
No.
Yeah.
Totally. I have so many training videos that I've done over the years. I actually just went live in Mike Ryan's page today. And I was like, you guys, I have so many training videos. And guess what? I spent so much time doing them, but all you have to do is the 4 vital behaviors. It's what it comes down to.
Mm-hmm.
Because we think we're missing something.
Yeah.
We're missing, because we're always so hard on ourselves. Am I right, everybody? Are we hard on ourselves? Oh, I'm not as good as I should be. I'm not as successful as I want to be. So there's got to be something else. I got to learn something else. So what is that? It's time spent. You could be just working out, sharing your journey, reading your personal development, and sleeping.
Love it.
Right?
I really liked how you said my days are long, but my life is full. I put it in my notes.
Oh, okay. Oh, I got to make a quote. I'm going to make that a quote tonight.
I like it.
Thank you.
Because I feel like my days are very long, so I love that.
Yeah. I mean, it's, most people, 90% of the people you meet, you say, how was your day? Oh, so tired. I'm exhausted. Everybody's exhausted. It's just how you choose to look at it. Like I have a day full of amazing things. I get to hang out with cool people during the day, and then I get to hang out with cool people at night. Like, who wouldn't want that all day, right? Just how you look at it.
Do you find that you work more on the weekends because you don't have your actual job then?
No, I don't, because that's family time. So I will break away. So here's what I do on the weekends. My mother-in-law lives close by and just doesn't get to see the kids during the week. So what I'll do is I will drop them off at her house for maybe 2 hours, maybe. Not every weekend. If that's the case, guess where I'm at? Starbucks working. But I've got soccer, and here's the deal. So this weekend, 3 soccer games the weekend. What will I be doing? I drop my daughter off an hour early at the soccer game, and we're sitting in the chairs waiting for the game to start. So what am I doing? I'm working. Why not? I'm sitting in the beautiful sun. She's warming up. When the game's on, phone's away. Right? So I know the weekend is family time, and it is a big struggle. It used to be a lot more of a struggle, but it's you have to prioritize. Like, would you rather be super successful in this business and lose your family? No, I had to face that reality a long time ago. So I had to make a decision where it's like, I got to fit in this business in every single nook and cranny around my family time. which means, yeah, sometimes in the bathroom, because that's not a time where I'm spending time with my family. Because that's what it comes down to for me the most. Like, do I want to be empty-handed at the end and be super successful but have no husband and kids? No.
So how long would you say during the day? Because I think I try to do the same thing where I break it up. Like if I'm in the bathroom, I'm totally posting something or responding to messages. Or like on my lunch break, like that's totally the time when I do things.
Yep.
I always feel like there's so much, you can always do more. So like how much time cumulatively do you think you're actually spending each day working the business?
Well, I'll tell you, the very, very first Super Saturday we had, on Super Saturday, they have videos of like success stories. I actually am in the very first Super Saturday, and they asked me that same question. How much time do you spend on your Beachbody business? And I said exactly this. Throughout the day, I probably spend 2 hours a day. Throughout the day. Oh my God, as I'm saying that, like I've seen this video like 1,000 times. That's exactly what I say. 2 hours throughout the day, building my business. Ironically, at the end of the video, I said, I see myself leaving my day job. And 3 years later, I did. So pretty cool. But yeah, so it's probably 2 hours throughout the day on the business. But it's like super efficient, I'm not doing other stuff. It's like I've got a deadline. I always have deadlines, I've got a challenge group. Oh crap, I got to put this together like in the next 5 minutes. And I work really well under pressure, I think. That's what it comes down to.
Hey, do you use a virtual assistant at all, or is it all you?
It's all me. There are lots of days I wish I had the assistant, and I did have when I retired and I was home. Guess what I did? I hired an assistant, and that assistant worked for me for about 4 months, and she was the most amazing assistant on the planet. And guess what? She's my most successful coach on my team now. Because she saw my back office and she was like, oh my gosh. And then she took this business and ran with it. And I was like, you don't need to be my assistant. You need to spend time over there. And that was it. I never hired anybody again because I got lazy when I got, I say that, but yes, there are certain things that I absolutely would love to delegate out, but I haven't. And so things like I had to make my team pretty self-sufficient when I went back to work. And actually, it was a blessing in disguise because I was there all the time for them. I was there all the time for them. So I was like, hey guys, all those training videos I've done over the last 3 years? Guess what? They're all yours. Use them. I'll be here. But I won't be here all day. And the ones that I thought would stay around are around, and they're doing their own thing, and they're being leaders in the team page. So it forced me to pull myself away on things that I know are still good leadership things, but at the same time, it didn't have any effect on my business. So if I had a virtual assistant, I don't know. I think I'm afraid of getting lazy again. I think that's probably what it comes down to, why I don't.
How do you figure out how to stay present on social media while you're at work? Because I struggle with this a lot because on my days off from work, I'm like really present, but I work 12-hour hospital shifts. So on those days, I feel like I post in the morning before I go in, and then throughout the day, I'm like, okay, I'm kind of non-existent, especially on like Snapchat, something that's
the old ways. Here's the thing, is like, I think what you post is more important than how much you post.
okay.
So if you're just like posting something at 7 o'clock in the morning, we're just like, and then you're gone all day, like, yeah, that's not good. But if you post something that you really put your heart in and you share it, like, that's good. And your people want to come back for more anyways. That's what I've learned to get over with. It's not for me, and it's really been a blessing because it's true for me. It's the quality versus the quantity. It used to be the quantity. Oh my God, I got to get my 5 posts up today. You know what? Today I only have 3. And then I just, honestly, I'm really looking for people that are busy. And most of the people that are busy check in at night. They're not on anyways during the day. So they're on early in the morning and then they're on late at night. So that's what I'm posting. Same schedule as they have. But that's a hard one because we teach it. It's easy to teach because it's, you're going from like never posting at all to like, oh my gosh, I have to post on social media. So it's just easy to teach. Okay, 3 to 5 times a day because that's easy to teach. But really, it comes down to, I mean, for me, again, I'm not going to, whatever's taught to you do. But for me, it's quality over quantity.
Okay.
And I'm okay with that, Yeah, exactly, Megan. Exactly, with the algorithm. The better the post, the more it's going to sit up there anyways. Yeah, for sure.
I have another question. I feel like I'm hogging your time. So when you have those breaks, do you feel like you know exactly what you're going to do, or do you just decide on the spot, okay, I'm going to check into my challenge group now, or I'm going to respond to messages now?
I would like to say I'm super perfect and have this to-do list, and I have at times. I do. I'm one of those people who's used every app, who's used paper and pencil, who's used every app over and over again. Like I go through phases where I'm to-do list, and then that's my Google Calendar says at 9:00 I'm always supposed to be doing X, Y, and Z, and I do that, and then it becomes white noise. So it comes down to the 4 vital behaviors. I mean, that's really it. It's like, if I'm sitting here in my break, I'm not going to be creating some project, not like creating a challenge group thing. So what are the 2 things I can be doing here? Messaging someone or checking in with my group. Those are easy. Those are things that I don't have to keep track of, write down. You know what I mean? So it depends on where I'm at, is how I determine what I'm doing. If I'm at Starbucks sitting here on the computer, I'm creating something because I have my computer and and I save those other breaks for messaging people and checking in with my challenge groups and the things that really are better for the time I have. Does that make sense? Okay. Any other questions?
Anyone else? I feel like I had a lot of questions like pop in my head as you were speaking, and I forgot all of them.
Oh,
okay.
Okay.
Megan,
This was awesome, though. Thank you. What's up?
I was saying, is this helpful? I mean,
yeah.
I'm not giving you like X, Y, and Z, but you have X, Y, and Z. You have an amazing team, has training. It's really just, how do you fit it in your life and feel okay with where you're at? My hair is not put together, and that's because I don't have time to. You have to be okay with those kind of things.
I was listening to the book called The 12-Week Year today, and actually where I ended was, it was talking about how accountability, like I relate it to coaches. So like a lot of coaches feel like they would be so successful if only someone held them accountable and someone told them exactly what to do and someone checked in with them daily. And it was basically saying how you don't need accountability at all. You need to make the choice. And it's not the accountability that if that person doesn't check in with you, she's going to yell at you or she's going to praise you. It's the choices that then yield the results, and then you to decide from there. But you need to choose to prioritize your business and fit it in where you can, which you already said, but I just wanted to repeat that.
No, I love that you pointed that out. That's
yeah.
Absolutely. That's actually a book on my to-do list.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it isn't accountability. It is a choice. It's just like working out. It's a choice. Like, I don't want to work out. I can choose so many other things right now than to do it. But I know that if I don't, where am I going to be? It's the same thing.
Yeah.
What tips can you offer for staying engaged in a challenge group? I feel like I don't post enough in my challenge groups because I'm so busy at work. Comes down to the same thing. Like if you're looking for, and this is like only my words of wisdom years and years later, I will say I would probably answer this question differently 5 years ago. But if you're looking for the people that you want to connect with, they're going to connect with you when you're on. Like they're not going to expect for you to be on when you're at work. Does that make sense? Like you check in your challenge group when you're off. Okay, now it's time to check into my challenge group. Or when I'm on a break, okay, it's time to check into my challenge group, you know? And I will say for challenge groups, you know, scheduling your posts in challenge groups, absolutely. That's the easiest thing to do. I will also say for me, when I schedule, sometimes I get lazy and don't check. So that's where I'm probably more crazy than other people. Like, I don't like to schedule because then I forget I scheduled and then I'm like, oh, I see all these, you know, it's like if I'm intentional about it, like I know what I posted and I know what I expect to get in return, what I'm waiting for. Yeah, and I use my challenge tracker for accountability, not for scheduling posts. That's just because I don't like to scroll and like look at posts. I like to use it for accountability. Like I worked out today and I drank my shake. And you know, it's like I'll, you know, obviously always take a picture. And I always ask my challengers to take a picture and then I choose a challenger of the day. You know, I'll just scroll through and see who took the coolest picture and then put a little like graphic and it takes me 3 seconds. Challenger of the day. So I don't spend time scheduling in the tracker. It's a time saver for me. Personal business question. My husband doesn't really get it either, or yeah. Social media, that's rude and uninvolved. It's a hard one. Here's my personal advice. My personal advice is if you absolutely adore and love your family and your spouse, sometimes you have to do more for them to get what you want. Does that make sense? I've been married for 18 years. So sometimes you have to do more for them to get what you want. So I would highly suggest, if you haven't read the book, the 5 love languages, and find out what their love. This is actually, I'm so glad you brought this up. This is probably my biggest spouse advice. Find out what their love language is and do it. Like, my husband's love language is not recognition. His is, what's the word I'm looking for? Service. I pay all the bills and they're all done and honey, I pay the bills. Like, that's just like going, oh, you did so good. Like, I'm recognition. Like, if I said I paid the bills, I called the handyman, and I took care of all that, it's the same exact thing, and I can do whatever I want. See what I'm getting?
Read that book. I love that book so much.
Right? So it's true. Find out. I mean, you read it, you know exactly what your spouse's love language is when you read it. And stick with that and do those things, because once I started doing that, my business life and stress about the business or about doing it was nearly non-existent. Like, this decision for me to go back to work, the way he brought it up and the way that he brought it up was unlike how I would expect him to have. And he's given me so much room for my business because I chose to go back to work. Because it actually takes a lot of stress off of him, because he's always, for this long, he's always unsure. Like, when's the ground, you know, going to fall out from under us, right? Because he's in a service business, I'm in a service business. We're both paying for benefits. It doesn't matter if we make $1 bazillion. When is it going to fall out? Like, that's his reality. And so he let me be home for 2 years to do this thing that he hates. you know what? I'm going to give this back to you too. I'm going to give you some stability. And I come home from work. I take days I'm going to go home early. I'll put my name on the home early list. I go home. Honey, I'm going to work on the business. Okay, no problem. Like, who are you, right? So it really, you cannot resent them for not understanding what you love. And here's how I put it into perspective. He's in real estate. The last thing I want to listen to all day is about real estate. I get it. Like, why would he want to listen to this? Even though we're so excited and love it so much, why would he want to listen to it when I don't want to listen to him talk about real estate all day? So it goes both ways, even though we're so excited about it. I think that answered it.
Yeah, I think that was good.
Okay.
I see it's 8:57, so I know that you have to hop off in 3 minutes. So I just want to, if anyone else has any more questions, you can message me personally or just put them into Supercharged, and I'll reach out to Anna to get the responses. But thank you guys so much for hopping on, and thank you, Anna, for your time. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you. All right, bye, you guys.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.